So I have been on 3 different medicated-assisted treatments. So the first one was Vivitrol. I was actually on Vivitrol for give or take 6 months. And that was several years ago. I was in California. I was going through an inpatient program in California at the time. And I had done this accelerated detox program, which is basically so they put you, under for about 3 days and you're medicated. And then after that initial detox, it's an injection, Vivitrol injection, and it lasts about 6 months. So that was my first interaction with MAT. And what I found was that it really, I couldn't get high on it with Vivitrol, and I tried, and I couldn't. And so what that did, that really took away the cravings. I just happened to not be ready at the time. So when I got back from California after those 6 months, I used right away. But it kept me stable for 6 months, and it gave me a little taste of what recovery is like. And so fast forward to about almost 4 years ago, May of 2019, I got arrested. I had 2 felony warrants, and I got arrested. They took me to King County Jail, and I told them, I was going to be withdrawing from heroin. So they drug tested me to verify that, and the nurse actually came back and told me I was pregnant. And I had absolutely no idea that I was pregnant. I was still using every day. And so they started me on methadone right away because the detox could have been so detrimental. I probably wouldn't have, my son would never have been born. So they put me on methadone right away, and that was my first experience with being locked up, detoxing, but a bearable detox. I've been arrested 16 other times, and each time I detoxed in jail, and it was hell. I mean, I'd be in there, whether it was 3 days a week, and I'd get out, and the only thing in my mind was, I need to get high, I need to get well. But it actually made it bearable being on methadone. So they started me, at a low dose, 10 milligrams, and they eventually bumped it up to 20 milligrams, but I was in jail for about a month, and I could sleep. I remember that was the one thing that I was able to sleep. Every other time when I was withdrawing, the restless legs, every time I would close my eyes, it'd be like memories popping up and things that I did. And so this was really a first time for me that I could sit in jail for that long and be okay. So I got out of jail and I went to treatment, actually Swedish Ballard. They have this really wonderful inpatient program for pregnant women. So I was there. For personal reasons, I didn't really want to be on methadone, but I knew I needed something to not go back. So I switched to Suboxone. And from there, so let's see, that was about maybe 6 months. And I was tapering off, basically. From 20 milligrams, I was tapering off 2 milligrams a month until I got to I was on 2 milligrams of Suboxone, and then they said, we can't taper you off anymore. It'll be harmful to your baby. So I stopped tapering for a little while, and I was just on 2 milligrams for about another 6 months. And then I had my son, and no problems. He was born happy, healthy, everything you can want, as a mother. And I still needed to feel stable, and I was still in pretty early recovery. So I just wanted to give myself every possible chance to succeed. So I stayed on Suboxone for a little while longer. And one day I just woke up and I felt it. And I was like, I don't know what it was, but I was ready. And so, I talked to my doctor and I said, hey, I think I'm ready. I'd like to just go from 2 to 0 and just stop taking it. So we talked about that for a little while, and that's what I did. The next 3 days were, I could feel withdrawal symptoms, but I could sleep, and it wasn't anything as bad as heroin withdrawals. For me, it was just really incredible. And, hot and cold sweats were definitely there, and body aches, but not nearly as prominent as in actual drug withdrawal. I think I stayed on it as long as I needed to, and I know that some people stay on it for life, and I think it's just really a personal choice. But I would not be where I am today had I not been dosed on methadone when I got arrested. I think that really saved my life, and it gave me a chance to, it gave my brain a chance, to kind of get back to normal function. And it took care of the cravings while I was, kind of adjusting to life in recovery. What does it look like when, for the last 8 years, it was everything that I knew to just, get high every day. So it really made that difference. It gave me the time that I needed to be able to kind of figure out where's my life going, what do I need to do, and it's not about me anymore, it's about my son now, and how do I stay healthy for him.
For more local news coverage, live and on demand, watch King 5 Plus. Download free on Roku and Fire TV.